Should be no surprise that in a recipe book dedicated to Elvis Presley, the biscuits and gravy would be the first recipe. Biscuits and red-eye gravy. So we're going to need 1 pack of bacon arranged on a parchment-lined tray. I cooked mine crispier than I usually like it, as to render out as much fat as possible. There's a couple pieces that didn't fit on the tray that I cooked in a frying pan. I drained the grease into that frying pan because we're going to need it after. Now for the star of the show, the biscuits, we need 2 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons sugar, half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and half a teaspoon of salt. Mix that all together before adding in half a cup of shortening cubed into smaller pieces and cut into the flour until it resembles like coarse crumbs. At this point you can make a well in the middle and add in 2/3 of a cup of milk, pushing in everything from the sides until it all comes together into somewhat of a ball, and then turning it out onto a well-floured countertop. Now you're going to knead it a little bit, but you don't want to overdo it, so you just need to fold it kind of like that and do it about 10 to 12 times, the book states. I think I did a little less. And then with a rolling pin or your fingers, you can just roll it out to about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thickness. I went more of a 1/4 and it worked fine. At this point we can start cutting out our biscuits. The book recommends a biscuit cutter or a knife, the biscuit cutter to be well floured. I just used a cup. I sharpen mine daily. Keep going, rolling out your dough until you get to the very end, and even that last little trimming, I used that, rolled it up, and it kind of made a little biscuit there. And after 10 to 12 minutes in a 450-degree oven, you'll be presented with some golden biscuits. And then just brush them with some of that bacon fat, not because the recipe calls for it, because Elvis would have wanted it that way. And at this point, these are great. They're ready to be split open and served with some butter, but we are making ours with red-eye gravy. So with that reserved bacon grease, we need to dump in 1/3 of a cup of strong black coffee, and there's nothing to bind it, to emulsify it, so we're simmering it for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, it's done, and that's apparently red-eyed gravy. And there, look, I'm eating that little biscuit made with the trimmings. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly fine biscuit. Dunking it into this black-eyed gravy, and it tasted like watered-down coffee. There was a bacony aftertaste. It tasted fine enough. It really felt like someone was just trying to recreate a time that they spilled coffee all over their biscuits and bacon. At the very least, an easy biscuit recipe came out of this, and I'll be exploring more of these Elvis recipes, so like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.